Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you inside the Desert Diamond Arena here in Glendale, Arizona. Northern Arizona Wranglers football on the air. James Poovey alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. Ed, once again, we are back in the Valley of the Sun for another Wranglers-Rattlers matchup, and this one is as big as it ever gets, my friend.
It is, with the Wranglers at 7-3 and the Arizona Rattlers right behind them at 7-4. This is a huge game for both of these teams as we're working toward playoff positioning and tiebreakers and all that kind of stuff. So this is a massive game tonight, and it's always big when it's the Wranglers and the Rattlers, isn't it?
It is every single time, and it just seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The Wranglers coming off a bye week last week, which I think was very well timed, so they're able to heal up some bumps and bruises, but now they got to get back to it here tonight because no doubt the Rattlers are going to bring everything they have here against the Wranglers.
Oh, yeah, and the Rattlers, just like the Wranglers, they're on a 3-game winning streak, so they are just coming off a big win last week in San Diego, so they're looking to extend their winning streak to 4 games, and of course the Wranglers are looking to extend their winning streak to 4 games, so something's got to give tonight, folks. Is it Rattlers or the Wranglers? We'll find out tonight.
We're looking forward to this defense playing on a high note as they've done here over the last couple of weeks. We hope that continue that trend, and then the offense is able to score points almost at will lately. We hope that continues as well.
Yeah, and just looking 2 weeks ago in Vegas, how the Wranglers were able to run off 24 points in the fourth quarter. I was just looking at the scores. They scored 24 points in a crucial fourth quarter when the first half it just seemed like they were just not going through the motions, but their offense wasn't moving that well. So Josh Jones comes out and immediately throws a touchdown pass to RZ McCorker, starts off the scoring in the third quarter, and then they just started to roll offensively. So again, tonight they're going to have to do the same thing, JP. That offense has got to roll, and as you mentioned, that defense has got to roll too. And of course, we know Axel Perez has got to knock down every single attempt he's got. We saw him out here kicking deuces, practicing, so we'll see what he does as far as drop kicks. He was big last week with 3 big drop kicks in the second half.
The Wranglers currently sitting in third place in the Western Conference, so this game tonight is huge. They want to get the win here tonight inside the Desert Diamond Arena over the Arizona Rattlers and improve their playoff position because the Rattlers, let's face it right now, they're right on our heels.
Yeah, and they start off 1-3, so then everybody's like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with the Arizona Rattlers? This, it seems like they do this every year. They start off slow, and then Kevin Guy, whatever he says to them or whatever they do to motivate themselves even more, they kick it into gear, and of course, as we mentioned, they're 7-4, 3-game winning streak. They are on a roll, just like the Wranglers are.
A number of players really playing well this season for the Northern Arizona Wranglers, and one of those guys we visited with a little bit earlier today, David Elder, wide receiver extraordinaire. We'll check in with him here when we take a quick commercial time out here on the countdown to kickoff. Stay with us. We're live from Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona, as we get you ready for your Northern Arizona Wranglers and those Arizona Rattlers. Stay with us.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light? Light? Oh my.
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song.
Thanks, LL Cool J.
I got a guy who can fix this.
Every day, savings, energy efficiency, rebates. Every day, you have ways to save energy and money. Schedule a home energy checkup for savings recommendations tailored to your home. Find rebates on smart thermostats, appliances, and more at the APS Marketplace. Compare your rate plan options and switch to the plan that would have saved you the most money. Find ways to save at aps.com/brighter.
We welcome you back to the countdown to kickoff here as we get you ready for your Northern Arizona Wranglers and the rival Arizona Rattlers. Ed, it's going to be an exciting game tonight inside the building, and one of the key factors could be tonight for the Wranglers is a gentleman we're going to visit with here in just a moment, David Elder, who is a signee for the Northern Arizona Wranglers. David, how are you tonight? We appreciate you joining us, and we're excited for this ball game this evening as you guys square off against the Arizona Rattlers.
Great, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
David, you've been very productive this season for the Wranglers. You've come in here and really made a difference on this ball club. Just talk to us a little bit about your football past. I noticed that you've had a number of stops. You finished up with the Auto University Arizona Spirit, which I'm very familiar with, being the original broadcaster for that team. I don't know if you knew that or not, but tell us about your experience there with Coach Nesbitt, and then you had other stops as well, Wayne State, Garden City, Snow College, and Gila River. How did you come about being a Northern Arizona Wranglers?
Yeah, so it's a long story. So I originally started at Feather River Community College in Northern California. Things didn't work out, so I transferred to Snow College. I was there for about a year, and then COVID hit. So I transferred again, and then that's when I went to Gila River down in Phoenix for about a month, mainly to get locked in with Coach Feckler, and then he ended up taking me to Garden City with him after that small COVID season. We got to play against Snow College for one game, and then I did pretty well, so he took me to Garden City with him, and from there I graduated, got my associate's degree, went to Wayne State, Nebraska, a D2 in Nebraska, and then things didn't work out there neither, so I had to transfer again to Ottawa, University of Arizona. And it was dope. It was a dope experience up there with Coach Nesbitt. That was honestly, at all the schools I've been to, that was probably my most favorite experience when it comes down to just overall the experience, the facilities, the coaches, the players, and everything. It's a real small school, but it's nice. I liked it, and they take their football serious. Even though it's a small NAI, they treat their program like a D1 program, and that was one of the things I liked most about it. And I ended up with the Wranglers from an open tryout. So after my final season with Ottawa, didn't really get a pro day. I didn't have the year that I wanted to due to, a bunch of mainly off the field issues, but kind of led into a little less playing time and didn't get the ball as much. So I didn't have the production that I would have liked to have. So I didn't really get any pro days. So I just went to the open tryout for the Rattlers, and then the next day I went to the tryout for the Wranglers, and the Wranglers showed the most interest, offering me a contract to come to the training camp and possibly earn a position, and shit, the rest was history.
So David, so far in this offense that Rod Windsor is running, you're thriving. Like JP said, you and the rest of the other wide receivers under Josh Jones, it is just an incredible offense. What is it about this offense that Rod Windsor is running DE that is allowing you to get 30 catches and just get loose and just go out and produce on a nightly basis, on a weekly basis?
Honestly, well, it's a combination of having so many different weapons and an offensive mastermind such as Coach Rod. But at the same time, he allows his players to have the freedom to be playmakers, which is one of my most favorite attributes about him. Is he allows his players to be playmakers, especially the quarterback. So we run our routes to win, and Josh just does a really good job of finding us and getting us the ball and letting us make plays. And when he can't find us, he takes off and he runs, and it's just hard to stop that many playmakers, that many weapons. So
How have you been able to gel with this offense in a relatively short amount of time? We talk about it all the time, Ed and I, that you guys really don't get an extended training camp period. There's like a week, maybe 8 or 10 days at the most that you guys get to not only know each other but be able to gel together as an offense. How have you been able to come together with this crew, not only Josh Jones at quarterback, but your offensive line and your other wide receivers as well? Because one of the things the Wranglers do really well is spread the wealth, and they're able to spread the football around to all the weapons that Josh has at his disposal.
Yeah, it really wasn't hard. Honestly, it was kind of like a natural thing. Like not even just the offense, but the whole team. I feel like everybody just gels super well. We laugh all the time, always cracking jokes while staying focused, of course. But it's just dope, man. It's a dope environment. We all just for some reason we all just mesh and we get along, and I think that's why we win games because we play as a team and we all want it just as bad as everybody else. And I think another thing that kind of helps is that we're all rookies. So especially on the offensive side of the ball, with us all being rookies, especially the receiving core, well, really the whole offense, we're all rookies. So that I think helps us gel as well because we're constantly trying to figure the game out because it's different than outdoor football. So we're constantly communicating. We got great communication with each other and just we all have like-minded. We're all like-minded individuals. We all want to be great, and I think that's why we gel the way we do and have the success that we have.
David, when it comes to this indoor football league game, of course, you're used to 100 yards. It's cut in half. So how much of an adjustment was it for you to get used to playing indoors and half of a football field that you're usually used to playing on a game-by-game basis?
Definitely an adjustment because, being someone of my size, speed helps a lot, which when you have less sideline to sideline action, it makes it a little harder to utilize your speed as much as you would like. But at the end of the day, it's still football. So, the sidelines get cut off short. And, when it's a little harder to be as much of a deep threat because you can't run as deep. So those are probably the biggest adjustments. And, of course, the wall here and there. But I don't really mind the wall as much because I never like to run out of bounds anyways. I like to stay in bounds and try and keep the play alive anyways. But I think it'll translate to the outdoor game because you get so used to playing in a confined space. It's almost like a drill. Like, sometimes you do like a tackling drill and you confine the space to make it a little bit harder. That's just kind of how I look at it. Like as if it was a drill meant to get you better. So when you go back to the outdoor game, it feels like you got all the room in the world, if that makes sense.
David, it makes complete sense. We talked about your number of stops throughout college on your way to the pro game here in Prescott Valley with the Northern Arizona Wranglers. What is it that drives you as a football player to keep going and keep grinding and trying to get to that next level? Because let's face it, a lot of times when guys have a number of different stops, somewhere along the way they say, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm not going to do this anymore. It's not working out for me. But you've been the opposite. You've just been able to keep your nose to the grindstone and keep working and keep pursuing your dream, I would imagine, to play pro football and maybe even go up to the next level. What is it that drives you to keep going on the football field?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy and hard at the same time. I've been playing football since I was 7, and I've loved it since way before that. I feel like even when I was in my mom's womb, I just knew that I was going to be a football player my whole life. I always say that my love for the game is just a little different. Like, every essay when I was a kid, art project, everything just always had to do with football, whatever the case. It's just always on my mind. I just have a different love for it, just a different passion. And I feel like not a lot of people have for the game. They just have strong likes. But that's just what it is. Just having that strong passion for the game. It makes it so easy to keep going. The hard part just comes from the rejection and having to constantly move schools and transfer when you don't necessarily want to. But in the back of my mind, I just know there's nothing that stops me from playing this game until I'm forced to. So until that day comes, that's just kind of it's no thought behind it. It's like I just know I'm just gonna keep going.
DE, I'm sorry, DE. So you mentioned your size. How do you use your size, 5'9", to your advantage on the football field? Because we just saw 3 minutes of highlights of you so far this season. How are you using your smaller size compared to the other wide receivers on the team. How do you use that to your advantage against defenders?
Quickness, of course, the law of physics. Smaller you are, the more quicker you're gonna be. Speed as well. But in my head, I believe I'm like 6 foot, 180, 190 in my head. That's how I feel. That's how I look at it. So I don't try to play like a small receiver, but still use it to my advantage at the same time.
Now, David, we know you're from Las Vegas, Nevada, and you played at Liberty High School up there. How sweet was it to go back home, if you will, just a couple short weeks ago and defeat the Vegas Nighthawks, who were really on a tear earlier this season? They started out 7-0, but now you guys were able to go into their place and take them down. How was that victory, and how sweet was that bus ride home after that?
That was so much fun. That was so dope to be able to come back home and play that game, and not only that, but win. I was losing sleep actually over that game. I was so excited for it. So to be able to do that, that was great. And that atmosphere, that was dope as well. I didn't unfortunately get to ride the bus back with them. I ended up staying out there for the bye week that we had. But the locker room right after that win, yeah, we was turned up for sure. That was dope. That was dope. That was fun.
That is so cool. So, DE, let's fast forward to tonight. You got a big game at Desert Diamond Arena against the Arizona Rattlers. They're on a 3-game winning streak, just like the Wranglers are. This is a huge game when it comes to playoff implications and, of course, the rivalry between these two Arizona teams. When you look at the Rattlers, what do you see, and what do the Wranglers have to do tonight to leave Glendale victorious and with a 4th straight victory? What does this team have to do to get that dub tonight?
Honestly, just be ourselves. As long as we come and be ourselves and minimize the mistakes, we'll show them who we really are. Unfortunately, the first time we played them, they didn't get to see the real us because, as you mentioned before, we're all rookies in that training camp leading up to the first game. We only had 3 days of a training camp, or 4 to 5 days of a training camp, and we were outside, so we didn't really get to be able to practice with the wall and the small field and the turf, which is different than outdoor turf and all that. So they got the worst of us. So it's gonna be dope to be able to go out there and show them who we really are, which is a whole new team. We're a whole new team, whole different team. We've developed so much, evolved so much since that first game. So we just gotta go out there and be ourselves, honestly.
David, we know you're an outstanding football player, and you have a wealth of talent, and we're so blessed to have you on the Northern Arizona Wranglers squad. Tell us about David Elder off the football field. What do you like to do in your spare time when you don't have a helmet on, and when you're not heading to practice or coming home from practice? Tell us about David Elder.
Well, I don't really do much outside of football. Again, like my passion is so strong that even when I'm not practicing in meetings, I'm always thinking about football. But I don't really have too much fun outside of football because football is my fun. It's like my therapy. It gives me purpose and everything. But I'll do like some Instacart outside of football and just relax and recover for the most part. I'll play video games here and there, not as much anymore, just because it's unproductive. I try to stay as productive as possible. I like to read, watch podcasts. Lately, I've been watching The Ballers, the Ballers series on HBO Max, which is pretty dope. But yeah, for the most part, I don't really have too much fun outside of football. I just like to relax, chill out.
That is cool. DE, last one from me. Talk about Josh and the relationship that you've built with your quarterback. And we all know he's as tough as they come. He is as tough as nails at that quarterback spot. Talk about Josh. He's your roommate, right?
No, he's not my roommate. He's roommated with Kobe and John.
That's right, Kobe and John.
Yeah. But Josh is dope, man. Josh is dope. I love Josh a lot, especially as my quarterback. He doesn't always talk a lot, but it doesn't really matter because he gets the job done, and when he does talk, it means something. But my favorite thing about him is that on pass plays, he doesn't always be so fast to run. He likes to keep the play alive and feed his receivers the ball, and at the same time, he's gonna feed everybody. So everybody gonna eat with him, and if he do run, he's gonna get some good yardage with it. In the read options, I know that if he's not giving it to me, I know he's gonna get something. He's gonna get some yardage. He's gonna get in the end zone, in the red zone. So it's just dope to have a quarterback like that because it gives you confidence going into the game, knowing like as a receiver, you got a quarterback that'll get you the ball, not only throw it to you, but put it where only you can get the ball, give you a good ball, and give you a chance to actually make a play. You know, like when Kobe had his top 10 ESPN play, he's putting the ball on the money. It's just dope as a receiver to have that because I never really had that at some of my other schools. You know, a quarterback of his caliber, so it's real fun to be able to play with him.
Northern Arizona Wranglers wide receiver / running back / do it all. Let's face it, for this offense, David Elder joining us here on the Countdown to Kickoff. David, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to you balling out once again tonight inside the Desert Diamond Arena as you guys square off against those rival Arizona Rattlers. And let me tell you, I feel really good about this game tonight. I think we can come out with the W.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. I appreciate you guys for having me as well.
Absolutely. Stay with us. We'll be right back for more Countdown to Kickoff as we walk you up to the kickoff between the Wranglers and the Rattlers right here inside the Desert Diamond Arena. Stay with us.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light? Light? Oh my.
Here's your call. Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song.
Thanks, LL Cool J.
I got a guy who can fix this.
We welcome you back inside the Desert Diamond Arena. Flash bombs going off here as usual for the Arizona Rattlers as we get you ready for your Northern Arizona Wranglers squaring off against those Arizona Rattlers. What a pleasure it always is, Ed, to visit with Mr. David Elder.
What a solid young man. What a great young man. He's such a talent at that wide receiver position. He's been such a major addition to this offense, JP. He just goes out there, just like the rest of his brethren, his wide receivers, he goes out and produces. Josh Jones does a great job of distributing the ball to him and everybody else on that wide receiver core, and I just looked for big things from number 25 tonight.
I mean, how lucky is Josh Jones to have the amount of weapons he has to throw to hand off to? I mean, we don't even have an official running back on the roster, but then you see all of a sudden you see Maldonado coming across on an end around, or you see Elder getting the handoff, or maybe he'll run out into the flat and catch a pass. I mean, this offense for the Wranglers has to keep defensive coordinators up at night trying to game plan for them.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about this offense. Everybody is so interchangeable. As you mentioned, he could hand the ball off to John Maldonado or R.Z. McCorker or David Elder or Kobe White. Anybody he can throw the ball to and hand the football off to. Man, we can feel the heat up here in the Loge box, James.
You're not kidding, man. The Arizona Rattlers making their way onto the field here.
Their presentation is unbelievable here.
As we're just about 9 minutes and some change before kickoff here. Ed, this is going to be a fun game, but it's a crucial game as we talked about a little bit earlier. The Wranglers, I don't want to say must win this game here tonight, but they must win this game if they want to keep the good playoff seeding we have right now intact.
You don't say must win. I say must win. You don't want to go 0-2 against the Rattlers during the regular season because
No.
you've already lost a tiebreaker, and then you're already only a half game ahead of them in the playoff hunt. You're number 3 in the seeding as far as playoffs. Arizona's number 4, 7-3 versus 7-4. So you definitely want to win the game. You want to stay a game and a half ahead of them instead of a half game behind them because you lost tonight.
There's a lot of action happening around the IFL tonight. Let's get you a live look in, as we always like to do here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers channels. The Vegas Nighthawks squaring off tonight in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Right now, 5.5 minutes remaining in the first half, and right now 9-6 Vegas, barely leading over Duke City. How about that game?
Boy, Vegas is in some struggles, aren't they? 3-game losing streak after starting the season 7-0. And Duke City, they're not your typical 1-9 football team, James. This team has been in pretty much every game they've been in so far. This is a tough football team, but of course, unfortunately for them, 9 of their 10 games have been losses.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing our friend Ben Wilson, who will be coming to town here in a few short weeks, as the Vegas Nighthawks will make their appearance in Prescott Valley just a couple more weeks from now. But right now, they got to take care of the Duke City Gladiators, who are mounting a charge, I would say, right now, coming in at 1-9 tonight in that ball game. So we'll get you some more live look-ins as we progress throughout the evening here. Back inside the Desert Diamond Arena, they're about to bring the lights up. We're about ready for the rest of the pregame festivities. Any final thoughts here, Ed, before we send folks over to the IFL Digital Network for the call of tonight's broadcast?
I want this team to start off fast and strong. Offense has got to be strong. Defense has got to be on their heels. They got to be after Dalton Snead all night long. You're going up against one of the best offenses the Indoor Football League has to offer. And, of course, Axel Perez was so strong 2 weeks ago against Vegas. He's got to be that strong, if not stronger, tonight on the extra points and the deuces and everything he tries to do tonight.
And what a difference maker Axel Perez has been this season, as he's you mentioned the deuces. He's gotten a few of those done there this season, and a big-time difference here in the IFL. I love the fact that you can score like that as our national anthem is underway here in the building. An absolutely amazing rendition of our Star Spangled Banner. We wish you had a little bit better audio for that, folks. What an amazing job that young lady did, Ed.
Just chills down my spine, James, every time you hear the national anthem. It is something that is so riveting.
We are exactly 5 minutes away from kickoff here inside the Desert Diamond Arena. Ed, final thoughts here before we send the folks over to the IFL Digital Network and Caffeine TV for the call of tonight's ball game.
As I said a couple minutes ago, fast start. I want to see some turnovers. Dalton Snead threw 3 interceptions last week in San Diego, but of course Arizona intercepted Nate Davis 3 times, and they got 2 pick sixes, and they scored on every single one of their turnovers. So Josh Jones has got to be smart with the football, like he's been all season long. Be smart with the football. Don't force the issue. If you find somebody not there, don't force the issue, and be smart with the football and be aggressive on defense.
And Josh Jones has done a really good job of that, limiting his interceptions this season. He's only got a couple, and we hope he can continue that trend here tonight against these Arizona Rattlers. I look for this defense to get off to a flying start as well. And you mentioned the turnovers. Be great to force some of those early turnovers here against the Rattlers, and that would prove big dividends here in the first half.
And also the thing is, you've got to score points in this building, because if you score points, this crowd will be quiet. You want to keep the snake pit as quiet as possible, because if you don't, this place gets extremely loud. I know this is our first game here because we've been used to going to the Footprint Center over the last 3 years, but now we're in a brand new building here at Desert Diamond Arena. Great for us because it's about a 15-minute drive for you and me, so much more
Our
convenient.
closest Wranglers game of the season every year.
I love it, but again, score early and often, keep this crowd out of it, and it just gives you more of an advantage, because you'll hear your fans that travel down from Prescott Valley and that travel from here locally in the Valley. You'll hear them because they're all in the building.
And we got a great crowd filling in here tonight as well inside the Desert Diamond Arena. We've run into a number of Northern Arizona Wrangler fans who have been kind enough to stop by the booth here and say hello to us. We encourage you now to make your way on over to the IFL Digital Network and Caffeine TV for the call of tonight's ball game. Dale Hellestray on color analysis, and Floyd Simmons will have the play-by-play call over there on the IFL Digital Network. But make sure you make your way back here to the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel for halftime and the postgame show following the conclusion of tonight's ball game. For my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole, I'm James Poovey. We will see you in 30 game minutes here back on the IFL or on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel. Folks, enjoy the game, and as we always say,
Go Wranglers!